How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And I know I'm late to the Kool-Aid drinking party of George Pickens coming to the Dallas Cowboys. I got the notification that the Dallas Cowboys were finalizing the deal for George Pickens as I was visiting Rick in ICU. Y'all please continue to keep him in your prayers. But anyway, it didn't take long for the crew over at the facility to give their 2 cents about the trade. So y'all know what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna listen to 3 clips from the guys, and after that, we're gonna give y'all this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's hear what the crew of the facility had to say about the trade for George Pickens.
I applaud you for your take, but I applaud Jerry Jones. Thank you. Yep. For going out here and making a move. We've been saying number two wide receiver for a very, very, very long time. And not a number 2 wide receiver in Ringo that a lot of people don't know nothing about. You go out here and you give up a 3rd-round pick to go get George Pickens, who I believe is going to be a superstar in the National Football League. I applaud Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys for making this move. Because, yes, you just made it easier on Dak Prescott. You just made it easier on C.D. Lamb. You made it easier on your offense because you brought a guy in that can deliver on the outside. And what I mean on the outside, I mean you just line George up at X, and it don't matter who over there, he knows how to win. Now, like my colleague says, it comes down to number 4.
Yes, sir.
And we will get into that. But with Jerry Jones, what he did, I don't want to hear anybody say you got to help Dak out anymore. You got to do this, you got to do that, because he's helping him. And he gave him 2 bad dudes right now to throw the football to. It's all on number 4 to deliver. But I love everything about this trade. Everything you said is true. They are going to be a balanced offense. Now it's just all on number 4 if he can deliver.
Lord have mercy, Cowboys Nation. It's all on number 4. Tell me this, James Jones. When is it not all on number 4? When is it not on number 4? Every year it's all on number 4. We're going to go as far as Dak takes us, right? You talking heads have successfully convinced some in Cowboys Nation to believe this stupid-ass concept. All because the Dallas Cowboys traded for George Pickens, we're all of a sudden sitting in the NFC Championship game. These guys are up here being professional Kool-Aid dispensers. All I'm saying, Cowboys Nation, but you know what? I'll save it for the raw and uncut. But jumping into the second clip, Chase Daniel gives his perspective about the George Pickens trade for the Dallas Cowboys. So let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say so we can come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
They're also taking a little bit of a gamble here, Acho, because first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer and his staff, they're betting big potentially on getting the best out of George Pickens, right? Because there's the off-the-field stuff with George, right? Comes with a little bit of baggage. He's immature. He's been fined like 7 times last year. All this stuff plays into it. He's going to the biggest brand in all of sports, right? So how does his off-the-field demeanor help his on-field play? We'll see what happens, but right now it's a huge deal for me.
Chase Daniel is absolutely correct in this assessment, and this is one of the reasons why I have reservations when it comes to the pick of George Pickens. With all the immaturity, how is he going to gel with the Dallas Cowboys? We all know that the Dallas Cowboys have the nickname Second Chance Valley Ranch for a reason. Now, will the Dallas Cowboys be able to capitalize with George Pickens as the wide receiver too? Only time will tell, Cowboys Nation. But, Cowboys Nation, y'all know doing the facility video wouldn't be complete without hearing from the ultimate Dallas Cowboy detractor in Shady McCoy. I don't have to set the clip up or anything because y'all know what's going to be happening right now, Cowboys Nation. So let's go ahead and run the clip so we can go ahead and get back to this raw and uncut.
They beat, no matter how bad they are, they're always going to beat the Giants twice a year. That's what they do, right? They might split with the Eagles, wherever it goes. They might split with the division, but they're going to win some games. Enough, though. Can we get off the regular season, please?
The only reason you don't think George helps him in the playoffs? I'm asking.
I think he's a really good player. It's not about George, though. Y'all keep asking the wrong questions. George is CeeDee Lamb is a really good player.
Yes.
George Pickens is a really good player. These are good players. We're not talking about them. It don't matter about them. It matters about the player making $60 million a year. That every time we have a good team or a really, really good roster that y'all love to talk about every other day, cool. Because they had other rosters that was really, really good, just like this one. The difference was what, James Jones?
Oh.
Fold. So I don't want to like change the question. I hate doing it. When we talk about the Cowboys, it's the same questions. They're going to get better. Yes, they got better. Yes. Are they more talented? Yes, they got more talented. Are they going to win the playoffs? Because it don't matter what George Pickens does or CeeDee Lamb does, how open they are. I watched number 4 with great talent lose the games because him in the playoffs does not play well.
You've watched number 4 lose the complete game by himself. Really, Shady? Really, man? Lord have mercy. I swear to goodness. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Y'all ready for this Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Everything is, once again, all on number 4. The success of the Dallas Cowboys once again hangs in the balance of only Dak Prescott. No one else has any type of expectations to play their best because, hey, it's all on number 4, right? I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but I do not agree with this sentiment one bit. For years, I allowed the 3 and 4 letter networks to put this type of mumbo jumbo in my brain. Thanks to the wonderful Dallas Cowboys content creators for saving me from the hell of trying to get constructive critiques while also learning a little bit about the team at hand. That's not what these shows are about, Cowboys Nation. These shows are about getting clicks for drama. It's not about educating the fan base. It's about the back and forth. It's about the debate. And it really sucks, but James Jones continues to let me down. It's not the fact that he sometimes speaks negatively about Dak Prescott. Nah, I ain't got a problem with that. My problem is that he sides with Shady McCoy because it looks like if he doesn't, Shady McCoy is just gonna beat him up or something. But anyway, it's not the fact that he sometimes speaks negatively. It's the fact that he should know damn well that the success of the team does not rely solely on Dak Prescott in order to get it done. Like I said in my podcast, it takes way too many moving parts in order for a team to make it far in the playoffs. Let's not act as if you've never seen Dak Prescott play a good game and the team lose anyway. In 2023, against the Philadelphia Eagles at their home, Dak Prescott played his position very well, but we were unable to come away with the victory. That doesn't stop the people that root for Dak Prescott to fail to come up with any excuse to put a loss on him. This is why you see Cowboys fans take up for Dak Prescott. This is why you see former coaches and players take up for Dak Prescott. I feel the quarterback position for the Dallas Cowboys gets a bad rap because he is the quarterback for America's team, and some Cowboys fans have expectations higher than the moon. But has the Dallas Cowboys had great teams in the past but weren't able to get it done? Yes, they absolutely have. The thing is, there have been a number of teams with the same issue, but you don't see their fan base putting their quarterback through all types of hell. As much as Cowboys fans want to salivate over Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, they alone are not enough to get it done. This past Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes wasn't enough to get the job done. In the 90s, Jim Kelly was not enough to get the job done for the Buffalo Bills, and Tony Romo wasn't enough to get the job done for the Dallas Cowboys. So y'all mean to tell me that each one of these players, each one of these quarterbacks actually suck? No, Cowboys Nation, they don't. They, as well as the coaching staff, have not been able to get it done. It takes an entire team to give it their all. And the way Cowboys Nation has complained about the coaching staff since, 1996? Do you honestly believe that the quarterback of those teams had enough talent to mask all the team's inefficiencies? At the end of the day, that's why you need your quarterback to play mistake-free football. It's not that everybody's clicking on all cylinders. It's the fact that there's issues within the entire organization and people look for one hero to save the day. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but it doesn't work that way. And the reason why I started the Raw and Uncut with Dak Prescott is because instead of answering the question, Shady McCoy took this opportunity to once again put down the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Some of his takes didn't make any sense either, Cowboys Nation. Have we not learned from this past year that the playoffs aren't guaranteed? That things can happen that causes your team to miss out on the postseason? So I'm taking the regular season as important as the postseason. If you don't, then you end up with a shell shock like we ended up this past season. But as far as the George Pickens acquisition, I reserve the opportunity to put my cup of Kool-Aid in the refrigerator. I'm not going to get all hyped up and screaming, Super Bowl, we're making it to the Super Bowl, because we don't even know if this marriage will work out. We hope that it'll work out. We pray that it'll work out, but we have to see this play out on the field before we can start screaming playoffs, much less the Super Bowl. This move, it does give us a better rotation when it comes to the wide receiver position. Right now, we have CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver 1, George Pickens at wide receiver 2, Jalen Tolbert at wide receiver 3, and wide receiver 4 is a toss-up between Jonathan Mingo, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy, and hopefully Trayshawn Holden will be added to that mix. But it also gives CeeDee Lamb that much-needed help on the outside. It gives Dak Prescott that legitimate X wide receiver that he can truly high-point the ball, where he can throw it in his vicinity and he'll come down with it point blank. It makes the opposing defensive coordinators have to really scheme to cover both wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. If you double team CeeDee Lamb, you'll have George Pickens one-on-one with his defender. If you try to double team George Pickens, then you'll get dusted by CeeDee Lamb. So, to all those teams that stack the box to stop the run, that's not gonna work this year. They have to respect the pass game now. So I figure you'll see a lot of zone being played against this lineup, or you'll see single high safety. And Dak loves to play against the single high safety coverage. This trade also helps the backfield, the new backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. With Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jadon Blue being new to the Dallas Cowboys team, I feel that they're going to need that help from a dangerous pair of wide receivers to lighten the box to allow the offensive line to plow the road and to create rushing lanes. Also, Pickens' frame and the fact that Brian Schottenheimer wants to run a West Coast style offense, they can use Pickens with short passes being an extension of the run. Bubble screens, drag routes, and quick slants are going to be that go-to for Pickens and Lamb. How do you say it? Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them work. On top of that, Pickens' frame makes him a help in blocking while the Dallas Cowboys run the ball. We all know that Brian Schottenheimer wants to take us back to that ground and pound days, and you have wide receivers that are willing to put their bodies on the line to make the crucial blocks necessary to spring the backs open. We know that Jadon Blue and Deuce Vaughn have that home run hitting ability, and we need our wide receivers to be able to make that happen. But the thing is, when your wide receivers are dogs, it makes your quarterback play better. When your quarterback plays better, your line blocks better. When your line blocks better, your running backs run better. It's not about wanting your quarterback to make the players better on your team. It's about each individual player giving 100% and the coaching staff to turn that excellent play of 53 men into excellent play of one team. They don't call it complimentary football for nothing, Cowboys Nation. So, am I happy with the acquisition of George Pickens? Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy with the pick. I'm happy at the fact that Jerry and Stephen Jones made a high-profile trade again, something the likes of an Amari Cooper trade. This shows, Cowboys Nation, that the Jones family is listening to the fan base and understands the cry for a legitimate wide receiver too. This trade gave Cowboys Nation the jolt that it so desperately needed and was looking for in the draft. That shot in the arm that every Cowboys fan was looking forward to. And another reason why I think that this trade was a masterclass put on by Jerry and Stephen Jones is because George Pickens will be playing for the Dallas Cowboys in his contract season. This means that if George Pickens wants that wide receiver 1 money, he's going to have to put up those wide receiver 1 stats, and we all know players love to ball out during the contract year. I hope that Brian Schottenheimer uses that to his advantage while developing the scheme, and I pray to goodness that Jerry and Stephen Jones don't try to dictate the number of targets that Pickens gets in order to have leverage in contract talks when that time comes around. Let's not act like they don't do that, Cowboys Nation. They did it with Dez Bryant, and they did it with Cooper Rush. What's going to stop them from doing it to George Pickens? No diddy. But what this doesn't do for me is put the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs this upcoming season like it did for Chase Daniel and Emmanuel Acho. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation, but I'm not going to get on here and put these crazy expectations on our team. I've already seen comments about how the Dallas Cowboys should be making it to the NFC Championship game with this acquisition alone. That we should win 11 to 13 games with just one move, Cowboys Nation. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make that proclamation. I need to see a hell of a lot more before I start making proclamations like that. I need to see Jerry and Stephen Jones now prioritize the defensive tackle position. I need to see them and the coaching staff prioritize stopping the run before I can say anything about the playoffs. The days of the Dallas Cowboys automatically being placed as contenders, that's over, Cowboys Nation. They have to show me that they're contenders before I sip any type of Kool-Aid. They have to start beating teams who made the playoffs last year. They have the prime opportunity to do that this year, Cowboys Nation. You see, we have actually 8 teams that made the playoffs this past year that we have to face this year, so they have the prime opportunity to do so. But it's a great pickup. It's a great pickup by Jerry and Stephen Jones. Great addition to the Dallas Cowboys weaponry, but will he be a great addition to the locker room? We'll know that during the regular season. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. What do y'all feel about the acquisition of George Pickens? How do you feel about the trade battle and who won, the Dallas Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers? Y'all know how we do it. We always talk about it in the comment section. But if you're digging this content and want to help the Angry Cowboys fan reach its goal of 10,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and believe that the Dallas Cowboys have something with this trade, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, or Madden 25 or college football 25 gameplay. And I want to give a shout out to the newest ACF family member, Noah CA9223. I met this brother at Walmart. He walked up to me with his Dallas Cowboys mask and welcomed me with a fist bump and a how about those Cowboys. I appreciate you joining the family so you can root on the Dallas Cowboys for the 2025 season and beyond. And as far as this trade, I'll keep it optimistic. I'll keep an optimistic view. I will continue to root on anybody who wears that star on their helmet. So even though I may have a small reservation when it comes to George Pickens, I will curb my expectations as well as my enthusiasm until the regular season starts. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.